Now if you're wondering how I'm going to attach the back baffle, I have these. So I've got 20 of these, probably going to use 18, but on the back baffle, so what I do is you drill a hole, thread them in with an Allen key, and then they actually bolt on with a 6mm bolt. So that's going to be the back baffle mounting of these. So and then also, as you see here, that's just a pressure thing. Any screws that are visible in the front, so there will be a few holding like the wall on and stuff, like the lower part of the wall, I'm going to wrap these in the same carpet. So press those over them and you shouldn't really see the screws there. It'll just look like a big grey wall. We turn those guys into those guys. Nice carpeted, you don't see the edges on them. Nice carpeted little round circles, so that when I do anything in the car, I can cover them up. Now I'm not 100% confident that that little clip that's in them will actually stain the screw in the car, so what I'll probably end up doing is actually just gluing them on. Alright, so I've ruled off the box now, as you see, 9mm, so halfway through the 18mm. And now obviously I'll be doing, what I'll probably do is a mounting bolt in corners like that, spaced apart probably about 6cm out or something like that on each corner, and then I'll do corresponding 2 there, and probably do 1, 2, 3, or maybe do 4 along the long ways. Alrighty, now here's the top of the box. As you see, countersunk all my 9mm holes so that my bolts can sit in there nice. Obviously I'm going to carpet this, but as you see, that's that. I just put 4 in there now just to show you what it looks like. So give me a second, I'll flip it up, and it's the top of the box, and I've just put a very slight round over in that corner, which will make it just that little bit easier to get it into the car. And I've also put that on the back baffle. Alright, there's a bit of sawdust in these, I've got to blow them out. So, but as you see, just a bunch of threads in wood pretty much. There's one that's not got sawdust in it, you get the idea. So, cool, that's how I hold my back baffle on. Alright, so I just decided to carpet the back baffle, solid as, and as you can see how the bolts sit in there. So that's one of the bolts, they sit in there nice and flush with the carpet. They're black, but they're pretty close, they're a matte black, so they look pretty good on the grey. And I just went through and poked all the holes through, so whatever, once I put the bolts in obviously it takes that fluff back with it. But there we go, there's the back finished. Just a new pressure gauge filter and a secondary filter, so that when I do my paint, there's not too much shit coming through the lines. So I always will also just clean the air compressor out as well. So we should be good, and I should be able to do paint, as in white paint, tomorrow. Here's my last coat of primer. So this is my finishing primer, as you see it. Also around here on the port, same thing. So finishing primer, so what I'm going to do is, this will be the primer that I'll hit with like 400 grit, and then I'll wet sand with like ears, 400 grit, wet sanded. So as you can see, my line, pretty much I focused anywhere down, because this is the top of the box. Pretty much covered from there, across, down, to the full width, and obviously just inside of here, where it matters, because it doesn't matter over here. With these sides, they're primered, but I'm not going to wet sand them or anything. As I said, they're completely, not one bit of the rest of this will be seen, the sides, the bottom. I'm going to just do a quick spray of white on it, just so the whole inside's white for more shining effect. But overall, you're never ever going to see, you're just going to see that bit anyway. As you see, the port is also 100% wet sanded, so it's super smooth. Alright, and there's the box ready and prepped, because I'm just about to paint it. So I have sanded the whole thing quickly with 240 grit, except for obviously the wet sanded part. Got the port ready there, and paint that. Just mixed up my paint, got my new gun there, got a strainer there so I can make sure it's nice and clean for it, and we'll start painting. There's my first coat. So as you see, focus on the top, got that like a nice coverage on the top of it, and then kind of what was left around there, and then got the port done properly, starting to look more like it. So as you see, nice and white. As I said, that's got the torch here, that's 2 coats, probably going to do 3. just like 3 on these parts, and then whatever's left once I'm happy with what like my coverage there, I just spray around the edges and stuff. The edges are pretty good. I've left this edge raw because I've still got to glue a panel in there, so I'm going to probably actually sand that back to MDF when I put the front on, so I get the good glue seal. But yeah, that's that. And then the port, and see the port's coming out really nice as well. So that's obviously the back of the port, but even the front, as you see. Alright, I got the torch on it there for you, and there we have 3 coats of white. So as you see, the center looking damn sexy, and that's all I wanted, is that it looks good between these posts. As you see, the reason I did that body filler, as you can see of that little curve that's on it, it hugs up really nicely with the side and, you know, with the floor and everything. So just fits with all the bumps and grooves in the floor. Those little things that are wrapped in carpet, that's them just there. So you can see it stick out if I shine the torch right on it and get the right angle, but as soon as you get, that's the torch sitting next to it, but as soon as you shine light on it, as you can see, they blend in really nicely. So there's 3 along the front there, and there's also just 1 up in the corners. But turn the light off though, and you can't see any like silver screws or anything, so they look alright. There's the port, wet sanded, ready for clear, and there's the top of the box, the 45, and the back of the box, wet sanded and ready for clear. And there we have 6 coats of clear on the port and 6 coats of clear on the box, on the top 45 and back. So now I've got to let it set for about a day. It says, you know, roughly 24 hours type of thing. Wet sand, it does actually feel pretty good already though. It hasn't orange peeled on me too much, or, you know, feel that kind of dry feeling about it. It feels nice and wet. So all the leads, obviously wires up to the LEDs in the sides, 2 LEDs on the bottom, and what I did is I just siliconed the entire thing so that those wires don't come loose and flap. And there's also kind of like horseshoe shape nails along holding it in as well, so I shouldn't have an issue with those coming off. Obviously you're never going to actually see any of that, you're just going to see the white glow from the lights, so that's why I kind of went to town on the silicon. With the Decimal Audio sticker right in the middle, obviously it's upside down, I've just polished the whole top as much as I'm gonna, so I just went over it with a car polish, so it's nice and shiny. The front actually attached, so Decimal Audio, as you can see through there, front is attached. So all I got to do now is I'm going to sand it down so it's all nice and smooth. Carpet all the edges, not that you ever see it, but you know, I don't want to look through the window and see MDF, so carpet around the edges. The back obviously is the plug, which is already carpeted, and the front is meeting up against the wall, so it doesn't need to be carpeted. So yeah, that's it. I've still got sanding to do. There's a bit of overhang just around there I've got to sand down, but that's not a big deal. I've just done more fiberglass, so that's the top of the box, and I've just done double layered glass around the inside of the port pretty much on both sides. I've glassed the whole way around, top, sides. Did a bit more, I had left over, like I had resin left over, just and a few sheets of glass on the top of the port there. So that is that done. Silicon in the sides of the ports, in the sides there, with a really nice white silicon that I've used before that doesn't discolor, so it's still going to keep its color there, keep looking white. So yeah, the box is done. Pretty much just going to let that set. It's a pretty hot mix, so it should be set in the next 20 minutes anyway. And yeah, I've just got sanding to do and then some carpet. And then once carpet's in, I can put my bolts in. Where are they? Over there. And my terminals and everything. And also, just charging this GoPro up. So I got a Milwaukee battery with a little like USB thing, and then I can just plug the camera in, charge it out while I'm out here. So that helps me out. But anyway, that's just about done. So the next time this box is seen in a video, the next video should I say, because this will be the end of this video I'm doing, it'll be finished, and I'll be building the wall panel, and then we're on the home stretch. We're on the home stretch is what I'm